To be honest, it's probably started at a young age. I was, like I said earlier, I was always sort of one of the small ones, and I'd get pushed off the ball quite easy, and it was always just never give up, sort of. Once I got to it was probably about 12, I remember just lads growing and being that much bigger, and like you said, I was always sort of a creative player, but when things didn't happen, I just knew that's my strong part of my game. So getting on the ball or trying things. So when I did either sort of get shrugged off the ball or sort of give it away, I knew, well, that's the strongest part of my game. So I'm going to have to keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know where it's it's hard to say where it come from, but it's just that's always been sort of my mentality, is in just to keep doing what you're good at and to keep trying things. And like you said, some people might find it the hardest thing in football, but that was just my game, and that's how I wanted to play. So yeah, it's a tough one to actually put a finger on when it started, but that's just how I've always sort of thought, and that's how I've always sort of wanted to play the game.
But see, like you know, you've played. Say when Bristol Rovers was at its peak for us, it was sort of like 10,000 people in the MEM, and they're expecting, of you probably, and that's for your own. That's for your own doing. Like, people ended up expecting things from you, and if for whatever reason that didn't come off, you've played in Championship, grounds that hold 20, 30,000 people. Like, you've had thousands and thousands of people watch you. Like, if for whatever reason something doesn't come off, how are you able to, to push out the noise and just continue to, because, we both know people that would go into their shell in a game and hide away from the ball.
To be honest, I think I probably have done a few times in games where not that I'm trying to not get the ball, but it probably, that first couple of times you might give it away trying something. I always thought, next time I get it, I'll keep it simple, make sure I don't give it away, and then sort of try and ease my way back into the game, which is hard at times, because if you do get it in a sort of an attacking area, you need to do what you're on the pitch to do. Well, for me anyway, was to try and make something happen. So I always just try to be as positive as I can, whatever the situation, to be honest, whether it was an injury or giving it away and having a sort of a bad 10 minutes. So yeah, I always just wanted to be as positive as I can on the pitch, and just to always sort of play with a smile on my face. That was one of the main things as a young lad. And yeah, like you said, you might give it away, and you might have the crowd on your back or your own team because they're expecting something big from you. But yeah, I just always tried to block out the noise if I did give it away, and just to stick to what I know, and that was to obviously try and get on the ball and just to be positive.
It's funny you say your own teammates there, because I think I probably made the most overlaps around you without being given the ball of anybody that I've ever played with. And I used to think, that's fair enough. Like, I actually remember Darryl Clark sort of saying to you, high five him on the way back. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He'd say high five him on the way back, just so he knows that you appreciate it. And I used to think, even if Billy doesn't give it to me, I've really helped him there.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I said this in a podcast before, that you, even James Clark, Ledsy, you are basically what made a lot of my goals, even though you probably didn't touch the ball. Just making that run, because I noticed it massively when I went to Preston. They never really wanted the fullbacks to bomb on as much. So by the time I got the ball and I was 1v1, it was literally 1v1 or a 2v1, because their winger had recovered, and I'm up against two sort of players here. And after about a month of playing in that Preston team in the Championship, I realised, like, actually fullbacks making that overlap is massively helped me, because obviously I always wanted to cut inside, or and yeah, I remember I used to say to my dad, like I don't know what's going on, I can't beat my man, or I'm not like getting that extra yard. But yeah, I think for a fullback or a winger, the fullback making that run is such a massive difference to when they don't make that run. yeah, obviously if the fullback stays still, I roll you down the line and you cross one in for a goal. So but yeah, it's definitely a big help to have a fullback bombing on, and especially the player I am. I'm not one that is that quick, but I still want to beat my man, whether it's sort of a bit of skill or a little jink. So yeah, for that fullback to just to create that extra half a yard for me is massive.